that's why we have to overcome that fallen state, so you could be at a perfect example of what God is, and He would draw people unto you. Yes, right here, Dwight.
Yesterday, I don't know if it's related or not, but I was yesterday at hanging out with some magicians, and amongst some
Magicians?
magicians like magic cards, magic
Right.
stuff.
Okay.
And
Were
one
you
of them-
playing magic card?
Yeah, I'm learning that skill.
So you're ripping people off?
Yeah, being deceptive.
Ooh.
I know it's gonna be interesting, but interesting enough, there was.
So you're learning to rip people off?
No, not rip people off. No, learning to learn magic tricks, card magic.
Oh,
card
so like when
manipulation.
someone come over, you say, and
Pick a
you
card.
do this, and then you say, pick a card,
Yes.
and they pull it out, and they hold it, and you say, that's a space, ace of spades, right?
Yeah.
And then they put up money first, right?
No money. I mean, unless they want to pay for the entertainment aspect.
Oh,
of it.
okay.
But I'm not doing
But
it.
so you're not ripping them off.
No.
Oh, hallelujah.
No.
I was going to
That's
say.
definitely not my intention.
All right.
But I am interested in doing card magic and card
Okay.
manipulation. I used to be a clown when I lived in Costa Rica, and so I was a clown there, and so now I'm like, oh, I'd like to get back to it. But anyways, what I wanted to say was I was amongst the people I was hanging out with, there was a guy who did hypnosis, and it's very interesting to hear what you're saying, because I had an interesting experience where they told me, oh, do you want to see hypnosis? I said, sure, I'd like to see what happens. And so they pulled one of the guys, and he did it, and he was able to get him to hypnotize him. And he had him do two things. One, to forget a number.
Right.
So it was number 5. He couldn't say the number 5, which he actually ended up saying it. And then the second one was when he woke up, he would give the guy a hug. And so he did. And afterwards, I asked him a lot of questions. I said, how did you hear everything he said? Did you, what was the experience like? And he said, he heard everything, but he was still very compelled to do it.
Right.
And after he did it, I said, I want to try it. And the gentleman said that the guy he was hypnotizing, from a level 1 to 6, he was like a level 2 in susceptibility. He was not very susceptible. That's why he didn't get the first ask of not remembering the number 5.
Right.
And so I did it, and I wanted to experience what it was like to be hypnotized. And
So he hypnotized you,
he hypnotized
and what happened?
me. And it was a very interesting experience, because first thing, it kind of brought me to the place of silent prayer. I was in kind of a place of silent prayer where I had a clear thought, clear mind, but a lot of awareness. And he would talk to me, and his instructions, I heard everything he said. However, I wasn't able to get hypnotized, because I was at such a place of an awareness that there was nothing to, like, I think there was a sense of unconsciousness you have to get into in order to be hypnotized.
Yeah.
But I wasn't in the state of unconscious. I was in a state of very much awareness.
Oh,
and I couldn't
amazing.
get hypnotized.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
What I realize is that most people are already hypnotized and don't know it. So that's why it's easy to do it, because you're already hypnotized. For example, and I'm not pushing how you should vote or anything, but if you notice the liberal media now, they're now saying that Russia is involved in the election because Russia wants Donald Trump to win, right? And I'm thinking, why would they think anyone would believe that again? Why? I mean, they went through all that already. Nothing came out of it. No proof, no nothing. Why would they say it again? And I noticed the liberal media repeated it and repeated it and repeated it. And I'm like, no one gonna believe that, right? And so I was talking to a family member who was a Democrat, and that's the first thing the family member saying. Oh, Donald Trump is Russia is trying to help Donald Trump again. I'm like, oh yeah, you are. There are people out there who believe this over and over again because they are hypnotized and they don't know that they are believing a lie with no proof. There was no proof the first time around, and there is no proof this time. They don't even say, well, Russia's trying to affect the election. Here's why. Here's the proof. They don't say that, and the people will believe it. They'll just believe it. I'm like, what the? You got to show me proof at some point. You know what I'm saying? But they don't even bother showing proof of it. And folks are believing it. And that's because most people are hypnotized and don't know that they are. Anyone who has anger in a fallen state, and you're hypnotized. And you're not going to know it until you come out of it, that you were hypnotized. You're already hypnotized. That's why people can control you with lies and deceit. They can make you feel good or make you feel bad. They can just control you because you're hypnotized. They can make you angry, and they can make you not be angry. They can control you, but once you overcome that, you cannot be controlled. You got to come out of that state of mind. You're in a fallen state, and that's what's going on. That makes sense? So that's why people are already hypnotized. They really are. I didn't know it though until I woke up. And I came out of it. I'm like, wow, I didn't realize I was that hypnotized. Believe it or not, anyone that believes abortion is fine, they're hypnotized. Anytime you can convince someone that they can kill a baby, you know you got to be under. Or let the criminals out of jail. Put them back in the neighborhood. No bail bond. You got to be hypnotized to accept that. All right? Yes, ma'am.
So what you were saying about being...
Or wear a hat in a building. Oh, no.
What you were saying about...
Or wear shades in a building.
Wait, what? Oh.
I've seen people wear shades in a building. I didn't see you had shades on, Victor?
Oh, no, I said I had them on my head. I had to remove
Oh, I didn't even see them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't see them. I just thought about it. Some people do that. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, so when you were saying about being hypnotized, I think that it can go many ways too. Like my brother, I feel like he's hypnotized by my mom. Because, so we've been having this, and I feel like I'm getting out of that place because I live with my mom. My mom raised me. And my brother I've never been close to my mom. I've always been like, get out of my space kind of thing.
Right.
And my brother has always been like, I don't know why, if guys are like, I don't know if it's a thing that guys like draw more to their mom when they are separated from their dads or something. But my brother has always been like, adore her. Like she can do the worst thing, but my brother is like, okay, like submitted by her, right? So my father gave us a house, a inheritance, right? To all of us. And my brother, it was mine, my brother, and my sister's.
Yes.
My mom put her, like, falsificated, is that good? Or, like, yeah.
Put her where?
Yeah, falsificate the signature, falsify.
Oh. English.
Did a falsification.
No, hablo español.
Did a falsification of the signature of my dad to put her, forge my dad's signature
Right.
to have my house, our inheritance in her name.
Yeah.
When my dad came, he was like, I'm not gonna put you in jail, but you need to put at least the other 3 children on the house, you know, because I give them to them, you know, I give them to my children. Now my mom has a lot of debt because she's like horrible at business, and she wants the house completely for her. And she did my brother. She convinced my brother to give her the house and talk to us, my sister and I, because we respect my brother. We've always respect men. Like, okay, you're a man. Like, we respect you, right? So my brother, we respected him, and my mom knows that. So my mom uses my brother to tell us, give me the house, right? It didn't work out because my sister and I are like kind of like getting out of the spell of my mom's kind of like manipulation, right?
Her control.
And then my sister, which she's more like, I think my sister is more out there, outspoken. My sister went and talked to my mom and said, okay, Mom, I'm not going to do anything about, I'm not going to sign the papers. And my mom went crazy, like cuss her and all these kind of things, like really, really mad, and really, really mad. Then she called me, my brother called me because of the dispute that my sister and my mom had, and tried to like put my little brother in the phone
and
to talk to me, you know?
Long story short, because we're not on TV.
Yeah, sorry. And the thing is that I feel like there's so much like manipulation, and manipulation is like hypnotism. And I'm like, I'm getting out of it. I'm really like trying to my best to don't like get affected, but it's still hard for me, and it's kind of like, okay, I need to like step
Well,
back
once you
sometimes.
overcome that anger, then she will not be able to control you in any form or fashion because you won't have the fear. You will be able to see where she's coming from, and you won't see her as mama. You'll just see this person trying to steal from you. And you'll be able to deal with this person without any fear at all. Your mind is being renewed. It's amazing to me how, thank you, Rob. It's amazing to me what mothers do to the children. All mothers need to be in jail. I mean, when I become president, I'm going to pass a law. All mothers need to be in jail. It is so amazing. Your mother will drive you nuts and don't even care because she's already caused you to become angry, right? So she has control over you. Whomever caused you to become angry control you. So the mothers already have control. And if you dare to try to break away, if you dare to think for yourself for a second, you have hell to pay. Mama ain't going to allow that to happen. It's amazing how they'll literally destroy you. I'm putting all mamas in jail after they vote for me. But it's that evil spirit that made a home in them. That's why when you get married, move far away from your parents and don't let them come to visit. Maybe 2 or 3 phone calls a year. Don't let them tell you how to treat your husband or your wife. Don't call them up for advice. You got to stay away from them unless they truly repent and be born again. Otherwise, you could be 90 years old and they will still try to control you. That's my baby. I'm not your baby. You got to stand up. You become an adult when you become an adult. You're no longer mama's child. You're no longer her baby. And then daddy is too weak to do anything about it. I saw an episode on TV where the mama was upset about the man, the son, who is now a grown man, dating a certain woman. And the guy really liked the woman and she liked him. But because she wasn't upper class, sophisticated, the mother did not like it. And so the son was like really mad and he was like yelling at the mother. The father was standing there. The father wasn't saying anything, right? And as soon as the son went off on the mother, he's like, don't talk to your mother like that. I'm like, what the? He didn't correct the mother at all, and the mother was going off on the son, didn't care about hurting his feelings or anything. Don't let your mother move to West Hell with you. Really, that doesn't mean you don't love her, just don't resent her. Because the same person that raised you are raising your grandkids, the same spirit, it's the same thing going to happen. And I want to say, and I realized this from Thursday night meeting with the ladies, it's not the woman herself, but it's that spirit that made a home in her. Really. It's come from the fall. It came from the fall with Adam and Eve. And until that woman is truly born again of the Spirit of God, Satan is her daddy. And she literally can't help it because she's driven by that spirit. It's not her. That's why when you get married, you're supposed to protect your children from that mother so that they won't have to go through that. And the men have to be right. You have to be perfect. Women too, but especially the men, right? Because it's that spirit, and that spirit is wicked. Christ made it so you can overcome it, but they need some examples. They need the parents to be perfect so they can't overcome it. But the mothers will destroy you, and they won't feel anything about it, all while trying to pretend that they love you. Oh, I love you. No, you don't. If you love me, you'll lead my life. Let me be grown. Let me take care of my life. But they'll insist, and they'll find ways to come. I did an interview, I may have mentioned this, but I did a TV interview when I was in Arizona the other week. And the interviewer started talking to me before the show started. And he was like, I'm so glad you're here. My mother is causing me so much stress, my hair fell out. A guy, right? And this guy is married, he catches hell with his wife, and he has kids, or a kid. But the mother's like interfered, and he had to end up giving up his home, according to him, he had to give his house to the mother and go live with his wife's mother until they finally buy a house. I'm like, what the? I said, look, go put your mother out. She got to go. That doesn't make sense. But she doesn't care. She doesn't care if she's taking his house. She doesn't care if she's driving him nuts, because that spirit has no love in it at all. None. It's just, you got to face reality, but you're not going to see it until you forgive. And then you can deal with it. Most adults are afraid to face mama. They are scared to face their mother. They'll face daddy, but not mama. That should tell you something. You're not supposed to be afraid of your parents. And if you notice, most of the time, it's not daddy who want to move with you, it's mama. You didn't even ask her to come, but she'll find a reason. Oh, I'm sick. I need somebody to take care of me. Well, you should have had your husband take care of you. But I'm serious. We got to face this reality in order to overcome it. We can't pretend that mama is sweet. I can think of many names to call mama. Sweet ain't one. Really, it's just reality. And ladies, you got to be honest about this so that you can encourage other women to overcome that spirit. And now they'll pass law, they're getting into government, and it's a mess. It's a real mess. To the point that, and then I'll take some hands, to the point that, and I wrote this down because I saw it the other day, and I've seen it before. In Washington, D.C., they have something called drag queen story time. Have you heard of that? So I kept flipping back and forth to try to understand this, because I could not understand it. There was this big black drag queen, fat black drag queen, and you could tell it was a drag queen. And he was like halfway dressed, just showing his nasty legs and just fake hair and just big old heavy guy, right? Doing a drag queen story time, and guess who's sitting around letting it happen? Fathers and mothers. They sitting on the floor and the drag queen singing, if you're happy and you know it, clap your hands. And then the parents are, some little kids are like 9 months old. And so I kept trying to get her understand, why are they sitting, what made them accept this? That they would show up with their kids and sit on the floor and do what, and you look at it, you know that's a man. Even if you were blind, Stevie Wonder would have recognized it. But yet they're putting their, and I'm thinking, and then it happened to be white people. And the drag queen was black. So I'm trying to figure out, are they doing it because they hate to hurt the drag queen feelings? Are they doing it because they don't want to appear to be so-called racist? What made white people do that? You're like letting Satan take over your children, and you're delivering your children to Satan. And I'm thinking maybe they're liberals, but ain't that much liberal in the world. That's beyond liberal. Wayne, why would they take their children there? And then they act like it's real and it's just wholesome. Rebecca, what's going on? Why did they do it?
I heard a podcast about that, and they said the mothers are more into it than the children. If you watch the videos, the children are just sort of sitting there like, what's
they're just
going
being
on?
little kids.
But the mothers are the one who are clapping the hands, singing along, and really relishing in it.
And there were, in this particular one with the black drag queen from D.C., the fathers were sitting there too. That's why I kept flipping back on to make sure that I see men sitting there. I'm like, are these men sitting there too? Are white people that afraid of the blacks?
Well, you've heard the term virtue signaling.
Yeah.
So I think a lot of it is they're showing the world how virtuous they are by accepting the different.
So the white people are trying to show the blacks that?
Yeah, they're trying to show the world that they are so accepting and so loving that they accept this transvestite and, yeah. And they're
So that's why they
sacrificing their
would-
children.
That's why they would sacrifice their children to them. That is insane. Would you ever do that way? You want to take your grandbabies over there?
No, I would not.
Would you have would you be brave enough to say, no, I'm not, that's evil? To say that I'm not
Oh,
coming with my
like to
kids.
Samantha and her children? Sure, yeah.
It's mind-blowing. White people
Yeah.
don't do that. Yes, sir. And then there.
Hey, Jesse.
Yeah. Hi.
So since last Sunday, I've been paying a lot of attention to my anger, specifically when I confront and deal with people in my life who are wrong and evil.
Yes.
And normally, before I started waking up, I would just ignore these people. I'd let them walk all over me. I wouldn't say anything because I'd usually think that, oh, well, it's more trouble to deal with them than it is to, just be quiet and let them say their nonsense and then go on with my life.
Right.
I've realized now that, I kind of have a duty to,
You have a what?
I have a duty to speak up and say, this is wrong. This isn't right.
Absolutely.
That's evil. My question is, I watch The Fallen State. I listen to you on your radio show. And when you talk to these people and when you confront them, you handle it not, I wouldn't say you treat it like a joke, but you take it with a sense of humor and you deal with it very gracefully. I get a lot of anger that bubbles up when I deal with these people in my life.
Yeah.
And I was just wondering if you had any advice on that.
You got to be born again. You got to overcome, because anyone who has anger, they are emotional, their feelings are easily hurt, they are afraid, you can't really deal with the world. And the way to deal with the world, to overcome the world, you got to have good working through you. God has to be working through you. So when you forgive, all of your weakness will disappear. Because I was there too. I used to be afraid to speak up, man. I wanted to. And most of the time when I did it, I did it out of fear and I would do it the wrong way. Even as a kid, I always spoke up somewhat. And that was time when I would want to speak up, and I'm like, this time I'm going to do it. And it was like, and when something happened, I could feel it coming up really strong, right? And then it lock in my throat, and then come out like a girl.
Or you say something and then,
But I felt like it was going to come out like a man. But by the time I reach here, do you mind not doing that? But
or you
once
say,
God took away my anger, all that stuff disappeared. And so what happened is he's renewing my mind, as he will yours, and all of a sudden everything just seemed different. It's like the real reality is there now, because there is no fear. You can see the difference between the truth and the lie. You can see people, they don't know you see them. You can know that where they're coming from, and they don't realize that you see where they're coming from. And so you're treated with love by not hating it, right? But, and then the last thing is that there is nothing on earth that can happen to you that is that important. It is a joke. It's a joke. So when people get angry, it's so funny to me. Because they be getting mad about nothing. You could just say any little thing. Like I can say, I'm black and I'm slow. They'll get mad about that. And I'm talking about me. I'm like, why are you mad at me? I said, I'm black and I'm slow. But they identify that I said all black people black.
they'll
and
get
slow.
angry for you.
Yeah, they will. But that's because they're hypnotized and you can see where they're coming from. And nothing is that important.
Because I'll get angry, but then I'll catch myself and realize that I'm getting angry at this person, so then I'll draw it back. But I want to get to a point where it doesn't even cross my mind to get angry in the first place.
That's right. Have you forgiven your mother?
No.
Well, suffer. How long have you been listening to me? Suffer and... How long have you been listening?
It's been about, I'd say, a solid month now.
Oh, just a month?
Yeah.
Where's Mama?
She's here in LA.
Why have you gone and forgiven her?
I've been making excuses. I haven't felt strong enough.
Well, then suffer.
Yeah.
Because you must be born again. You got to overcome the spirit of Mama, which is not her spirit, but Satan in her, and return to the Father. Otherwise, you're going to stay that way, and as you get older, it's going to get worse. Because Satan is your daddy. You must be born again of God. And in him, there is no fear. worry or doubt or anything. It's just perfect love all the time. Then you can speak up, and if they don't like it, fine. If they do, fine. It wouldn't bother you because you're doing it with love. You're not trying to hurt anyone.
I guess another reason why I haven't gone is maybe it's a part of me is having problem with the belief. I'm having trouble believing that it can't just be it has to be a more complex solution. It can't just be as simple as going to her and saying, I forgive you. It has to be more than that.
It's simple. It's so simple, man, it makes you want to holler. It's so easy. Once you do it, you're going to get past that fear of her, and the rest, the light will come on, and it's simpler than what I'm able to tell you. Life is so simple, it's not even funny. It's amazing. No wonder God said, take on my ways, and my yoke is easy, my burdens are light, and he's absolutely right about that. It's mind-blowing. But you got to become his son. Right now, Satan is your daddy, and women are your gods, right? And you're not going to get over it until your mind is renewed. And only God can renew the mind because it's spiritual. You have to be born of the Spirit. So you got to face your mama.
I'll do that.
Are you married?
No.
Are you dating?
No.
Good. Don't do it yet. But you got to face her and see that she's wrong for whatever she did, but it's wrong for you to resent her. It's not right what she did, but at least you will overcome her and become yourself again. Have you dealt with your father?
No, I haven't dealt with him either.
How old are you?
21.
Oh, you're a baby.
Yeah.
Well, just suffer. Go get a girlfriend, get beat up, give her all your money, take her on trips, pay for hotels. And when you get tired of suffering, you'll go to mama.
Yeah,
But go to your mother and deal with her, man.
I will.
That's the only way you're going to overcome it. Do you think it's right to resent her?
No, I know it's not right, and I think I think a part of me resents the fact that I know it's not right, but I still haven't gone and dealt with her yet. I know that I need to talk to her, and I need to forgive my dad as well for allowing him to, let her do what she did to me.
Absolutely.
But yeah,
You're fortunate, man, to be so young and waking up, coming into this. If you go do it, you save yourself a lot of hardship, a lot of money,
I've
and
been
no babies out of
shouldering.
wedlock.
I've been kind of shouldering this whole thing, by myself. I mean, I did a lot of what you talk about. I moved out. I've been on my own. I work for myself. No one pays me.
Right
I pay
on.
for my own bills. But I'm getting to a point in my life. I'm getting to some pretty critical points in my life. I'm almost to med school. I'm getting to a point where if I don't have God on my side, I'm going to hit some roadblocks.
Absolutely.
So I want to face this now before it's too late. I don't want to, get, like some people to my 40s, my 50s, and still have not dealt with this because I know it's going to come back and bite me later.
Absolutely. Go do it, man. Don't put off today for tomorrow. If you see you need to forgive, straightway go and forgive. Then you could be free just like that. But you got to do it.
Yeah.
Are you doing the silent prayer video?
No. I'm suffering.
What do you think going to happen if you don't do? God's not going to change for you. He's not going to change any rules at all.
Yeah.
You got to follow the rule of God if you want to be free.
Yeah. I haven't.
You haven't.
I haven't. I know it's not just going to happen on its own. I know it doesn't
Right.
happen like that.
Yeah.
And I've been ignoring it. I've been ignoring making the changes, and I don't really know why.
Because Satan is your daddy, you're listening to him. He's giving you all kind of reasons not to do it.
Yeah.
Put
No,
it off.
I see that.
He wants your soul.
Because I make choices. I make
You don't
choices
make
where I
choices.
realize that.
He's making choices for you, and you think you're making them. We don't make choices. We have never made a decision. You're being influenced and don't realize it, either by good or evil. Right now you're being influenced by evil, and you think that they're your choices because it sounds like you, but it's not you.
Well, also when you say that none of our thoughts are ours.
Right.
Every single thought that I have does not belong to me. But when I'm in this state that I'm in right now, that I
Yeah.
have been in my whole life, when I have those strong thoughts, especially the thoughts of resentment, of anger, they feel like they are me, that they
Right.
don't come from Satan, that I hate my mother, that I hate my mother.
Yeah.
It doesn't come from some outside source. It feels like it's me, that it
It
comes
does,
from
but
me.
it's not you. It really does. That's what a lot of people have a problem with, because it feels like you. You feel the pain of it, you're thinking about it, but it's a spirit that's inside your body, and it's pretending to be you.
And I practiced, I practiced with some of the thoughts I had this week. I said, I imagine what you would say. I said, wow, that's amazing that I had that thought went through me. But some of them I wasn't strong enough to deal with. They just felt
Because you
like,
can't. You need the light of God to deal with them. That's why we have to be observers. We can't do anything about it. Of ourselves, we can do nothing. We are the observers. We're not the creators. It's spiritual. We are a spirit. You can't do anything about it at all. And the sooner you accept that, the better you'll be.
I don't want to take up any more time. Thank you.
No problem. I'm glad you're here. But you got to go deal with your mother, man.
I will. Thank you.
And but I'm happy that you're out on your own.
Yeah, I mean, I've gotten that far.
Yeah.
I've gotten that far, but I know I'm not going to be able to get as far as I want to go.
Well, you really need to let him guide you. And he will now that you're out there, because you're going to run into some situations out there.
Yeah.
All right? But he will show you how to overcome them.
Thank you.
All right? But go and do the silent prayer, man. Are you white?
Yes, very.
White people are supposed to follow instructions, right? It's the blacks that won't listen. But do the silent prayer, all right?
I will.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome, man. Right there, and Mark, and all over, all right? And then I have to do something else real fast. Yes, sir.
Going back to that drag queen in the library, you were talking about what it is we saw one incident that happened in Ohio where that was going to take place, and a street preacher went in there to speak the truth, that was wrong. That's wrong, because
Oh, yeah, I heard about that.
they're desensitizing the kids' minds.
But you
And-
know what? I can't blame them. I blame the parents. What kind of parent would take their children to the library and see a drag queen? You're like, come on, little baby, let's have fun with the drag queen. It's the parents. That's ridiculous. You can't blame the world for that. That's the parents' fault. Really. The world is doing what it's supposed to do. It represents evil. When will we represent good? We can't blame them for that. They don't make you bring your kids to the library. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
And as long as we are saying what they are doing to us, they're going to win. The thing should be, what's wrong with me that I would take my kids to this stuff?
That's pure wicked and evil to do that as a parent. Because
It
as a
is.
parent, you want to
That's-
nurture your kids the right way, to follow conservative values.
To follow God.
Amen.
That's why you have to be perfect parents. Otherwise, you create imperfect children, because the parents are not perfect. You're absolutely right, man. Yes, Mark.
On the forgiving the mother thing, I think what Trevor said is really cool. A lot of times I hear people say, oh, I don't want to blame my parents. It's so mean. You know, they did so much for me. Why am I just going to blame all my problems on them? And, you know, when you get to see that Satan's been lying to you, it's not what it
Absolutely.
is. What it really is you're apologizing. You're stopping your hatred. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I stopped hating my mother. I stopped treating her differently because I know how she's going to react, because whatever. And something that no one tells you, that I just kind of witnessed later, is that you become very useful to your parents.
You really
know
do.
what I mean?
In the right way.
In the right way, yeah.
Not
Like
out of
I was,
guilt.
I was just talking to my mom last night, and she was like, you know, I'm not going to live with any of my boys. You know, and it was just kind of like expected. You know what I'm saying? And I was like, no, you shouldn't. You know, you really shouldn't. You should have your
said,
hobbies.
Did you ever think that you would?
You should have some.
Are you out of your mind?
You should, well, it's different, to like, correct and to like let them do it on their own, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I'm
Right.
like, when she's like, I should have friends, I should have my own time, I said, yes, otherwise you're gonna go crazy, and you're just gonna wanna suck the life out of everybody, and you know it, and you know that's what you're gonna do. And she was
That's
like,
why she coming over there. It's not life. The kids die early, mama's still living. How come mama living so long?
but I
She
never would
just
have,
sucked the life out of everybody.
I never would have imagined that would have come out of her mouth on her own.
That's amazing.
Just by being calm and just treating her like you treat everybody.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And not being like, no, mom, or whatever. And she's just like, you're right. I should just have my own place and,
Yeah. Did your
not
grandmother
depend on
die yet?
people. No, she's never gonna die.
She just sucked the life out of your mama.
I know that she is.
Your
That's
mama
why
gonna die. We were thought, but grandma be dead a long time ago, right?
she's been dying for like
She
10 years.
Yeah, 10 years this woman been dying. And she's more alive than his mama. But you're right. Yeah,
Yeah,
you're right.
and
you
same
can
with-
love your parents once you forgive them. You're gonna love them with God's love, and she can't control you with that love. That's the beauty of it.
Or my father, for example, I think some of our other family, they try to control him, they try to use him, and like he can just talk with me. You know what I mean?
Right
and I
on.
think it's not much, but like, you're at least useful in some capacity to them, where Satan was telling you, you're going to make them sad, you're going to do all this other crazy stuff. It's like,
Yeah.
not only do you go free, but you actually help them in the right way.
Absolutely. That's what happened with my parents. Absolutely. I became the parent, they became the children. It was weird, but it was fun. Absolutely. Yes, sir.
I just noticed the correlation of everything, hypnosis and the forgiveness and everything, and you said that God is the creator, and Satan is not the creator. All he can do is destroy and recreate what he destroyed, and
In his image.
in his image. And so the whole hypnosis thing, it's like you said desensitized, but I see it as more of like the more sensitive you are, the more you're able to be destroyed
Absolutely.
and recreated of the world. Like you said, we're in the world, we're not of the world. And when we're able to be sensitive, like everyone's so sensitive nowadays.
Are you hypnotized now?
I hope not.
Do you know you're inside of a building?
You can just say it if you want me to take it off.
Oh, no. I just wanted to see if you recognize you're in a building
I do.
and you don't need a hat.
I don't need it. But these lights,
Are you going bald or something?
no. But I need a haircut for sure.
Most of the time, bald-headed men wear hats in buildings.
Yeah.
All right, but you're right, man. You're right.
Yeah.
Is this your first time here?
Yeah.
Right here.
It's really funny because, like, I'm born again, but I've been living in a fallen state for a long time. And he's 21, I'm 51.
Wow, what's
And
your
I'm
name?
here because I need to change. But my name is Jay.
Welcome, Jay.
Yeah, thanks. And it's funny because I've been watching for about a month as well. And basically, I couldn't understand forgiving my mother because I've always loved my mother. And she's also born again. And she's funny. I have a great time hanging out with her. But I've been a beta male for a long time.
Yeah.
And, it's funny. So then I actually got the nerve to call her on the phone. She lives in Ohio, and she's actually moving here, which is crazy. And
With
she
you?
did. Well, my sister also lives out here too. It's just
Do
the
they
two
live
of us.
with you?
Not to live with me. She did we found her a place.
Call her up and tell her don't come.
Really? Are you serious?
She's going to destroy you guys.
You're probably right.
Why
She
is
knows
she
that
coming
deep
out
down.
here?
She doesn't want to come. And I called her to forgive her though, and she was like really happy about it when I asked. When I
She's
told her I
tricking
forgive
you
her.
because she want to get out here.
Yeah. No. She was the opposite. She didn't want to come. So my sister wanted her. We both wanted her to come here because
Why you want your
because she's
mother?
getting old and we want to be with her.
Why?
I can't explain why. I don't know. I feel attached to
You
her. I guess.
see?
I'm a beta male.
Yeah, you're a beta male.
And I've been living in anger,
Yeah,
even though
of
I'm born
course.
again, which is weird.
You're
To
not
where,
born
like,
again.
Really? Okay.
No, you're not born again. No. Why do you think you were born again?
Well, I accepted Christ as my savior.
Oh, Lord, one of those. Huh?
Yeah. I've been.
So if you accepted Christ as your Savior, why would you be afraid of your mother?
But here's the thing. I didn't even realize I was afraid of her.
Right, until you had
You
to
see,
stand up to her.
It's but yeah. there's definitely
So
some.
you were
some
born
I need
again
to-
of your mama, not of
Yeah,
God.
yeah. Well, you're right. I'm not going to disagree with you.
Yeah.
But it's still a little strange to me. Like it's like I don't fully get it yet. I'm still stuck in a hypnosis state.
You are, yeah.
You see.
When a man say and a woman say, "I love my mama," that's the clue. That mama is God. What do you need to forgive your mother for?
You know, that's what I can't figure out. I don't know. You know, it's like this is kind of very new. But the thing is, when I started watching you, there's just a truth that comes across that's so beautiful.
Yeah.
That I'm drawn to it. So I do still believe I'm born again. I believe that, you know, God has me forever. I do believe I've been living in a fallen state. I'm not happy about
But
it.
if you're born again of God, how are you living in a fallen state with Satan?
There you go. You know, I don't know. I don't know.
It's best to leave it as "I don't know" than to claim that you're born again, because you're preventing yourself from being born again.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you were born again, you would not be afraid of your mother. You would not be identifying with her. You would not. It wouldn't be hard to call her up to say, "Don't come out here. Are you crazy?" You wouldn't be afraid to do that, and yet you would love her in the right way.
So basically, I should probably tell her you should stay where
Not
you're at.
until you see to do it, not because I said it.
No, I
Because
see.
if you do it because I said it, then she's going to call your sister up and say that your brother's hate me. He's an enemy. And they all turn on you. You won't be able to handle that.
Yeah. Well, it's hard to handle now, both of them coming at me.
It's hard to handle both of them?
Yeah, oh yeah.
And why?
Sometimes it seems like they team up against me. I feel bullied by them sometimes. You know, I'm not going to
Yeah.
lie. You know, like
Yeah.
sometimes I get, yeah. But like this anger thing is really, it comes at me real hard all the time, and I'm not happy about it.
Yeah, because did you know that any man that has anger is a woman?
I did not know that. No.
Oh, yeah. You female. Because it's not natural for a man to have anger. Men are logical.
Right.
That's why, and because God is their father, and Satan is the woman God, right? And so the men, God shined through the man, the Son of God, to help to bring the woman out of that state. That's why when she loved her father or her husband, she'll be fine. But because you have your mother's identity, you won't be able to deal with these women in your life right now, your mother and sister. But once you overcome your mother, he will take her identity away. Then you can deal with all people with perfect love.
And what's crazy, you're telling me this, but I still, in my mind, I can't figure out how to do that. I don't know why. So
By
like,
going
it's
and-
like I'm still confused for some reason.
So do you think you're right to resent her for the way she is?
Well, you know, it's weird. I never felt resentment towards her.
Do you
or
think
if I
it's
do,
right-
I don't know. I don't know
Right.
that's what it is.
Do you think it's right to be afraid of her?
No, I don't think it's right. To be
And why are you afraid of her?
If anything. But the thing is, if I am, I don't realize I am.
You
if
said
makes
that
sense.
you're afraid of her and that she and your sister take you through it sometimes.
Yeah. Maybe I'm just not admitting it to myself. I don't know. There's something's lost.
Are you
inside
doing the
there.
silent prayer?
Nope.
Oh, do the silent
Yeah.
prayer. And I don't want you to, don't make up anything. If you want to know, get to know yourself, and it will be revealed to you.
Thank you.
That way you'll have it for yourself, and not because someone else said it. Because once you deal with her, she's going to build an army against you. Everybody's going to turn on you because she's controlling everybody, and she's going to talk about how bad you are. You blamed her, and you said you hate her. Who are you to hate her? Hate her, and she did everything for you. And then you start feeling guilty, and next thing you know, she'll be living in your house.
Well, I did call her and tell her I forgave her.
For what?
I just told her I wasn't sure what it was, but because of listening to you, I thought, well, maybe this guy's obviously onto something. I got to figure this out, and you know, it felt good to call her and say, look, I just want to let you know,
Yeah.
I
Well-
forgive you. And she didn't get mad. She was
Was
like,
this
I understand.
before or after she said she was coming out here?
Well, she didn't want to come out here. It was me and my sister that were asking her to come here. We kind of convinced her to come here.
Call her up and tell her you're just playing.
Okay, I will. I will.
Don't come. No,
Okay.
but do the silent prayer. You'll see for yourself.
Okay, thank you.
All right, you're welcome. Is this your first time here too?
Yeah.
What's your name?
Peter.
Peter. Where's Paul? How you doing, Peter?
I'm all as well.
Yeah. Did you deal with your mother?
Yeah.
And what happened?
This is about a year and a half ago. I discovered you about 3 months ago.
And you went to her?
Yeah, she was in the hospital at USC, cancer ward, and she was dying. And I went to her the night she died,
Oh, good, man.
and I forgave her.
And what did she say?
She couldn't talk.
What did you say to her?
I said that I had a lot of, we've had a kind of a rocky relationship. She raised me alone. She kind of turned me against my dad.
Yeah.
And that was, I would stop talking to her for months at a time because she'd turn me against him.
Right.
She'd say bad things about him. And I say, you can't say bad things about my dad. That's half of me. So that was a lot of that. So I just forgave her.
And were you like really happy she couldn't respond?
No.
Like, I'm glad you died.
No, I
I'm
wasn't.
glad you can't respond.
I know. I wasn't glad she was dying. It was very painful for me
Why?
because she was my only family in America.
In America?
Yeah, my dad lives in Japan.
Oh, that's where you're from?
I'm from LA.
So you have no other folks here in the whole America?
Yeah,
No cousins or anything?
I have one cousin.
Well, play with him.
Yeah.
Or better yet, start your own family. Get married, start your own
yeah.
family out and do it the right way, you'll be fine.
Well, I wanted to thank you because what you do here and what you say is the truth. And my life changed after I forgave my mom.
Right on.
And
Yeah,
a lot of fear dropped away.
that's right.
And I got closer to God. And my faith just improved. My career opened up. And immediately I became close with my father,
Right on, man.
who I didn't really know growing up. He was in Japan. I'd see him every once in a while. And I hated him because my mom convinced me to hate him. And actually, she left my dad. Like, the whole story of what happened was exactly the opposite of what really happened.
Isn't that amazing?
And I thought this was like a unique situation. But
No.
the more of your show that I watch, I see that it's this universal epidemic.
Yep.
And I went to stay with my father for a month in Japan, and we had the best time. Then he came here and stayed with me for a month
Right
in
on.
LA. And,
Did you eat a lot of rice?
Yes, a lot of rice. But
Brown rice or white?
always white.
There you go.
He white. He half white. He half Japanese.
Good though, man. There will come a day when I return the children to the fathers and the fathers to the children. But it's the greatest kept secret on this side of heaven.
It really is.
The evil is coming through the woman, not through
It
the man.
really is, yeah.
And it's been like, what? No.
My
what?
whole personality changed. I was
Yes.
really like my mother, and then overnight, I became like my father.
Right on. That's right.
It's incredible.
That's
This
right.
is exactly what you're talking about. And then right after that, I started seeing your videos, and I said, this is what I'm going through. How is that possible? And then I just started showing him your videos.
Right on.
What you're doing is amazing.
And it's the same spirit around the world. I get calls from around the world. It's the same thing happening everywhere. It has nothing to do with race. It has nothing to do with male or female. It's a battle between good and evil, right versus wrong. It's the same thing everywhere. That's why we can't listen to the world, because they're lying to you.
I have a question for you.
Yes.
You're always talking about rebuilding the man and rebuilding the family and God over man, man over wife,
Yes.
woman over children.
Right.
So many women that I know have a problem with their mothers.
Right.
And
All of them.
they're closer to their fathers. It's like the opposite of what men are.
Yes.
Usually men are closer to their mothers.
The women that are
how do-
closer to their father, though, it's not close to him in the way it should be. They just love their father, but they still have that angry spirit because the father has not overcome his mother. So that's why they're feeling that way, you know.
You give so much advice to men. What's your advice to women?
You really want to know? No. You don't want to know what I'm no. My advice to women, they have to overcome their mothers too. because women are not themselves, they are their mothers. That's why they feel sorry for mama. That's why that mama come and live with them, or they let her babysit their kids and all that, because they're too weak to say no to the person that they hate. And she'll make up reasons to come, right? And they can't say no when they really want to say no. The mother would go and destroy your marriage. And the daughter is too weak to stop her because she has her mother identity. She's not herself. Women have to do the same thing that men. They have to forgive. God will forgive them, and then they will become themselves. And that way they cannot be controlled not only by mama, but by anyone.
It seems like what you're saying is that the world is filled with children who haven't grown up and who don't know how to grow up. And it's almost as if Satan is trying to keep everyone like children so that they don't, you say the children of the lie.
Yeah.
Like, it seems like all the adults are children.
Right,
So
they're children of Satan.
Who is the adult? There's like a lack of adulthood,
Right.
like a crisis of adulthood. There's no grown-ups. Where are the grown-ups?
They don't exist right now. But they're starting to happen, though, through you guys and ladies. They're starting to wake up, and things are changing. But that spiritual birth has to happen. You must be born of the Spirit. And that's why Satan keeps you in that darkness. But it's changing. Just be patient. You guys are waking up. And that's not by accident. When he wake you up, he's going to use you for his purpose. So don't worry, it's happening. All right? So tell those women they need to forgive. We talked about somewhat about that we had a women's forum this past Thursday night. And I told them it's the same thing. You got to forgive your parents too. The spirit that's made a home in you is not you. It's Satan made a home in you. It's the same spirit. So it's happening. Right here, then I got to ask my biblical question. Yes, sir.
I was talking to this psychologist about that exact thing, that you have to forgive your parents and grow up, and she's like, and how you explain it, and she's like, people pay me to do that. She's like, that's what we're doing in therapy the whole time. It's like just trying to get them to realize that point, and here you are just telling them simply.
Are you unconscious? Are you
Am I
hypnotized?
unconscious? Am I hypnotized
Yes.
right now? I don't think I am. I've been hypnotized, so it is kind of strange that it was like 2 months ago I was hypnotized.
But you're not hypnotized
Deeply.
now?
No.
Do you know you're inside of a building?
Yeah. Yeah, no. In fact, I kind of think what you do and with the silent prayer, because when I was actually hypnotized 2 months ago, it was a really deep experience, because I was like, I could clearly see the difference between the silent prayer and my consciousness and all the stuff that was being like influenced upon me.
Do you know you're inside of a building?
Yes.
Do you know there's a roof on the building?
Yes, I know the sun's not over my head, and I
And
know
it's
I
not
have a
going to
hat
rain
on.
in here.
I know.
They just repaired the roof.
Yes, I know.
Are you going ball?
No, I have a habit of wearing a hat because I used to get migraines from light. So I just now feel
Normally it's women who wear hats to church.
Oh, I didn't know that.
I'm just saying. The roles are reversing. So how you doing, buddy?
Oh, good to you.
Good.
All is well to you.
Yeah, no man is good.
Yeah.
So you were here last Sunday, right?
Yes, sir.
And how have things been since you were here last Sunday?
Good. I mean, well.
Yeah.
Everything's been well. Everything's been well.
You and your girl doing well?
Yes.
Oh, good, man. All right. Any question?
Well, yeah, I did have a question for you. So since I'm 18 and I'm barely becoming an adult, I was looking at a lot of things in the like the Congress and stuff. I was looking at the taxpayer money and stuff, and I was noticing that the taxpayers' money have been mostly like stolen and used for stuff that people have their own like personal reasons, and I noticed that's been mostly used for the abortion clinics and stuff. And then they've been having abortion clinics more abortion clinics around the poor neighborhoods, like there's been genocide on the black babies and stuff.
Yeah.
So like I just wanted to know your opinion of that.
Well, that's not going to change until men get involved with the abortion issue.
Yeah.
Because the black men are weak now, they're becoming females, And so now that there's no one there to stop it, the women are giving into it. And it's not going to change until men return to being men and stop it from happening. That's the only reason it's happening the way it is. Because when I was growing up, I'd never heard of abortion. It doesn't matter what the baby was like, they still had the baby. And whatever God did with the baby was fine. But that's why they're doing it. By weakening a man, you can destroy the world. So that's not going to change until men change. Yeah. Because it's easy to convince the women because they're looking for help. Women look for the man to help her. If he doesn't do it, then Planned Parenthood, the government, the preacher, they're looking to somebody to guide them.
Yeah, because I noticed they make it easy for everybody to go get abortions.
Yeah.
It's been promoted and stuff, and it's like just weird.
That's right.
Yeah.
But it's not going to change until. That's why they got the men out of it. Oh, you be quiet in my body.
Yeah, exactly.
My choice.
Yeah.
You can't tell me. And the men backed away, and that's when we got to this condition. Amazing.
Thank you.
Are you going to run for
I don't know. It's just.
I need you to run.
Yeah. I think about it. No, it's not just stuff because it doesn't make sense because I've noticed that because I don't like getting into these topics, but I know that there's elites that use kids' babies blood so they could rejuvenate their own selves.
Yeah,
so I know that. I know
stuff.
that.
Yeah.
So it's like it bothers me and stuff. So.
Well, think about running for office or something.
Okay.
Would you like to be a first lady?
Thank you. Thank you.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank you, buddy.
Thank you.
Yes, Wayne. Then I got to ask my biblical question real fast here.
On that topic of abortion, earlier this month was the National Right to Life March in D.C. And Donald Trump, President Trump, was the first president to speak at that march.
Amazing.
In history, in almost 50 years. So
Yeah.
we finally have a man willing to speak
The first
against
real
abortion.
man. You're right about that.
A lot of people don't know about that.
Yeah. So, Rebecca, are you familiar with my biblical question this week?
Sorry, I don't know what it is.
Every week I have a brand new questions on my radio show to make people think. So this week it is it right to make it or be? Is it right to make it or be?
Oh, B.
And why do you say be?
I've given up on being real goal oriented. I try to just take each moment and say, what is the right thing to do in God's eyes, and what would God want me to do? And
Is that working for you?
yes,
Oh, good. So you say it's right to be and not
depending
to
on what
make
you
it.
want to be.
And not make it.
Right.
Oh, okay. Did I ask you this already, Mr. Expert?
Yeah.
I asked, were you on the show?
No, the show.
What do you say? Right here. This is Chris. Chris is my new social media guy.
What's up? Hello.
I asked James this morning in the meeting, is Chris having a positive effect on our social media? And he was like, oh, I don't know, I haven't checked. And then I said, why haven't you checked? Oh, I don't know. I said, because he's not black. If he had been black, he would have checked. He just trusts the white man. Go ahead, Chris. Is it right to make it or be?
To be.
And why you say that?
Because I don't know how to make it. I'm just being, I'm just living.
What does it mean to be?
To be?
Yeah.
To be is to live in the present and not in your thoughts and not trying to do anything really. It is what it is to just be.
Yeah. Okay.
Let the spirit go through you, live in the truth.
Amazing. Had you ever seen Chris before, Rebecca? Does he look like one of us?
No.
No. That's why I hired him. I wanted to throw the children a lot off. They think we all have to look alike, dress alike, and be alike. Right? Right here, real fast, and then we got to end. Oh, okay. Can you walk faster? How come why Mexicans walk so slow? That's Colombian, that's not a Mexican? Oh, that's different than a Mexican? You look like a Mexican. A Mexican is a Mexican when they look like that. Yes. Is it right to make it or be?
It is right to be, because to be means that you're already doing the things that you think are supposed to happen or had thought or understood from God. At some point, you just are doing those things. And then although some people are hoping to make it in Hollywood or hoping to make it in the career that
Are
they
you
want,
making it?
I'm being
Are you
everything
making
that
it?
I've wanted to do.
Are you making it?
I mean, I'm not making it. God's making it through me.
Okay.
I'm just being the vessel for God.
Amazing. Thank you, man. I appreciate that. I got to rush a little bit because of time here. I real fast, sir, and then I got to wind it down. My staff are looking at me like I'm crazy.
I just wanted to give a shout out to my wife because she was the one that found you on YouTube.
Shout out.
We just celebrated Friday 23 years marriage, and it was her
Really?
birthday.
Amazing. So what was it like living with a beta for 23 years?
I just have to say, Jesse, I'm very thankful for you because I don't have any more heartaches that didn't belong in my body because I'm free now.
Right? So you forgave him for being a beta?
I sure did.
Right on. That's good. Well, congratulations. That's a long time in today's America, believe me. Congratulations, guys. So let me just say, this is a really good question. Is it right to make it or be? It's right to be. Because that's why God said, take no thought about what you're going to eat, what you're going to wear, what you're going to whatever, right? That I'll take care of you. And when you're just being, meaning that you have no opinion about anything, you don't judge, and you don't compare yourself to anyone, you don't try to be like anyone, you just live. It's so amazing what will happen through you from him. He really will take care of you, and it'll come from nowhere. It'll just be like out of the darkness into the light, and you'll find yourself having an amazing life. But when you are trying to make it, you have an idea excuse me, of what you think you want, and it's hard to do it that way because we don't know what we want. Really, only the ego makes us think that we do. And so it's best to just seek the kingdom of God in his right way, and it will be added. So for those who are in business, don't worry about anything. Let number one be seeking the kingdom. You want to be right. You want to become right. And as you're becoming right, he is taking care of you, your company, or whatever it is that you're doing. So let the priority be there. I was looking at this show, Real. You ever heard that show, Real? It talks about people's lives, entertainers, and other people, what they've gone through. And I noticed that most of these people, they make buku money, they become superstars, and they live in these fancy homes, but their lives are miserable. And if they do the background on these people when they were little, they all came from messed up homes. They had no relationship with their fathers, they're angry at their mothers, and they were poor growing up, and they felt like, I gotta make it. And so they go out and start singing. They make a lot of money behind closed door. They're having different marriages and cheating on one another. They're catching cancer and all kind of stuff. And I realized it's because they're not being. They have not overcome that trauma. But if you didn't see it, you would think that they're doing fine. They are not. They're depressed. They're on all kind of medications. So I want to encourage you, and I wrote something down so I can remember to tell you. Make sure you seek what's right, and he will take care of you. I'm a living witness. He'll do that. You're not going to even think about things anyway once you do it the right way. Seek him first. Seek what's right. You want to become what's right. And you got to overcome the spiritual trauma. You must be born of the Spirit. And going down to the front of the church and accepting Jesus ain't it. And this whole idea that you could be born of God and still sin is a lie. Either you're a slave to sin or you're a slave to God. You're not in control. And anyone who is sinning, meaning that you have any anger in your heart at all, you're a slave to sin. All in the name of Jesus. And it's unfortunate that the intellectuals of the Bible and of religion have deceived so many people, right? You can't make yourself be born again. You just have to see that you're wrong. You're playing God, and He will cause it to happen. So don't compare yourself. If you're at work, you have a job, just be aware. Don't try to hurt folks. Be honest. Speak up, but don't hate them. And your life will unfold. It really will happen. But you got to overcome the anger. You must be born again. And it's so, as this young man was saying, it's so simple. There are no words. It's so simple. It's mind blowing. It really is. So just be. And you can't make yourself just be. So I don't want to hear all y'all running around. Oh, I'm just being. How you doing? I'm just being. It doesn't mean that. All right? He will cause that to happen. He really will. All right? So be honest, get to know yourself, keep your eyes on yourself, and everything will unfold for you. It's more than you can even imagine. All right? Last word, James. Joel will hold the mic for you.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, I have super chats and questions for you.
Okay.
Was Nothing Real asks, are children influenced by the devil to bully and tease other children?
Only when they've been traumatized. Because prior to the spiritual trauma, kids have one relationship with God. And they look to their parents to be that example too. But until they're traumatized, then Satan can use them.
Scott from Colorado says it's easier for a camel to go through the eye of a needle than it is for a woman to admit she's wrong.
You say that again? No.
AJ Samuel Bashkar says, amen, all mothers need to be in jail.
That's the first soundbite they're gonna play when I start running for president. They're gonna say women shouldn't have the right to vote. And then they're gonna play all women should be in jail. So don't worry.
Mickey says, you says, we have never made a decision,
No.
i.e. we don't have free will. Doesn't God say we have free will?
No.
Stephen Will says, is there a difference between being born again and being a born again Christian? There seems to be two different versions. Some people call themselves born again Christians in other churches and stuff.
I have to smoke on that. Call me on my show. I have some questions about that. But the Christians mean that they've been born again, and that's how they became a Christian.
Right.
Right? Because I'm a Christian, and it's an honor to be a Christian. It really is. It's an honor to be a Christian. That's why we ask these people, are you a Christian? I'm spiritual. It's like everybody afraid to say that they're Christians. But it's a blessing to be a Christian. It really is. When you really are born again of the Spirit. You do understand you got to be born of the Spirit, right? Yeah? No? Why y'all looking crazy over here? You have to be born of the Spirit. Born again means born of the Spirit, and God is a spirit, so you're born again of His Spirit away from Satan's spirit. And only God can make that happen. You truly have to be born again. Let me just finish here. Yes, sir.
BC Gosnell, how do I know when God puts the right woman into my life? I saw a gal working at FedEx the other day with kind eyes and a soft disposition, but not my cashier. Should I go back and talk to her?
No. And don't let her load your truck.
Kaleidoscopimus something says, what if I feel my mother needs to forgive me for always being disobedient and being a pest all the time, and I knew I was wrong while I did it?
The one thing I want to tell you about that, because I hear a lot of adults say that, oh, I asked my mother to forgive me. The things you did while growing up was because you were spiritually traumatized. So it wasn't you. Had you not been spiritually traumatized, you would not have done those things. So when you go to forgive, you're forgiving your mother. You couldn't help yourself. You were a kid subject to that, right? And so you don't owe her an apology for that. If anything, I'm glad I drove you hell with your hell. You know what I'm saying? Really, you don't need to apologize for that. If they had been perfect parents, that would not have happened. Yes?
Last one, Peaceful Warrior asks, any chance for a silent prayer at the start of church?
Maybe. We've done it before. It's been asked. Maybe. I don't know. We'll see. Good question. Thank you. Thank you, folks. Last word, man. Nobody else hold your hand. Just suffer until next week. Yes, sir.
What does it mean when God says to keep the Sabbath day holy?
Yeah, speak up for me.
What does it mean when God says to keep the Sabbath day holy? Because I noticed that many churches try to, like, they believe that church isn't on, like, Sunday, it's on Saturday.
Right.
And they try to, like, follow the guidelines of how the Bible is. So
Yeah,
what would you say?
At some point, they were doing that. It was all physical, and they were trying to do things in a physical way now. But now that it's spiritual, there's a new reality, right? And the New Testament is about that new reality. Now you be born of the Spirit, and if you're living, when you live in the presence of God, you are keeping everything holy.
Okay.
So you don't have to have a special day for it.
So the Sabbath day is not really mentioned in the New Testament. It's more of the
Not
Old
that I'm
Testament.
aware. It may be, but I'm not aware of it.
Oh, true.
Any Bible thumpers? Wayne? No. But it's all of the Spirit. Now, everything is done in the Spirit. Being baptized of the Spirit, walking in the Spirit. It just means being present with God instead of lost in your imagination with Satan.
I agree.
Yeah. All right. Good question. So, one last thing. And never, ever, 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 never, do what if. Don't do what ifs. If I had loved them enough, if I had cooked enough, or don't do that. Don't do any what if, all right? Just live life in the present. Because what if doesn't exist anymore. It really. And Satan wants you to believe that it does. If I had been sweeter, he's going to make you judge yourself. And in judging yourself, you're going to end up going back or doing the same thing. It's going to be worse for you. All the thing you need to realize, you know what? I couldn't see. And live in the present. Don't do any what ifs. I forgot to mention that. All right? No, because Satan will try to get you to do what ifs. And it doesn't even exist. All you have is right now. And if you're wrong, enough to know I was wrong. Don't do any what ifs. All right, that makes sense? Because he'll make you say, oh, if you hadn't told Harpo to beat me. Don't do the what ifs. All right? Thank you all so much for tuning in, and thank you all for coming. And don't forget to like, follow, share, subscribe, ring the bell for notices of new videos. Also, we are going to be celebrating our 30-year anniversary this fall. Barn is 30 years old, so it's going to be a hootenanny of a time. You'll be able to smoke pot, drink liquor, tequila. No, you won't. No, you won't be able to do all that. But so we're going to be announcing it soon. The people who are putting it together, they're just confirming everything before we announce it. So get ready for that. If you need counseling, we have the best counseling service on this side of heaven. Really. Do the silentprayer.video. You can't go wrong. Stay with it. Forgive. Go forgive your mothers and return to your fathers. Then you can love both parents. Thank you for tuning in. I'll see you on the radio tomorrow. And thank you all so much. I appreciate it. Thank you. So listen.